I'm a man. People who might have watched this channel before might know that. And recently, I've been thinking about my mental health. Maybe it's just me, but it seems like everywhere I look, I see lots of things about the bad things that men do or how women suffer from certain things, but I rarely ever see anyone talking about men's issues. I know those things exist, don't come at me with pitchforks and torches, and I've seen them before, but I feel like it just isn't talked about enough. It's important to note that I am no way disregarding or invalidating anything that anyone goes through. I understand that plenty of people have things happen to them. It doesn't matter if you're a man, a woman, white, black, Asian, Hispanic, rich or poor, famous, or just like everyone else. It does not matter where you come from, mental illness doesn't care who you are. Everyone has baggage, everyone goes through things. I am aware certain individuals are affected by things more than others, but the point is, everyone has issues. This is just one that I think should be talked about more than it is. With that being said, let's continue. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, around 10 to 15% of teenage males experience depression, and around 26% of males experience anxiety disorders. This already seems like a lot, and when you think about it, a lot of guys may experience issues with their mental health but never seek help or even talk to anyone. The American Psychological Association estimates that around 60 to 70% of teen males suffering with mental health struggles never seek help at all. You also have to consider that that statistic may be higher as well because, well, guys don't talk about it at all. If they don't want to talk about how they feel, then they aren't going to say that they are feeling bad, but just not saying anything about it. They just won't say anything at all. This is dangerous for numerous reasons. People suffer from things every single day, and if they don't seek help when they need it, it can turn bad quickly. Imagine if you got a cut from a knife, but then you never told anyone about it. You never mentioned it to anyone or even acknowledged it to yourself. That would be a bad situation, right? Constantly bleeding out of your wound but never seeking help in any way. That's the reality for some teenage boys, if they even realize that they've been cut at all. A lot of guys aren't even self-aware enough to realize that they are unhappy or troubled with something. The reason that some guys just won't talk about their feelings has to do with many factors. There is no single reason, and someone's reason could be a non-factor in another person's life. But among the most common, the APA found that the reasons include, but are not limited to, fear of being seen as weak, fear of judgment, afraid of vulnerability, afraid of being not masculine enough, lack of awareness regarding mental health, feeling like they're alone, etc. It's easy to brush it off and say, well, they can get help. It's their own fault. But when you stop and think about it, that argument seems kind of nonsensical. For centuries, men have been conditioned to never show signs of weakness, never express how they feel, to be strong and man up. This may have been disregarded when we were hunting woolly mammoths or defending castles or working in factories, building skyscrapers. But nowadays, we understand the importance of mental health. We understand that there is more to life than physical health. Mental health plays a huge role in life. Even today, numerous men are still told to man up and boys don't cry. We can't blame the people who have been affected by how the system is set up. That would be the same as blaming someone for falling into a river because the bridge they tried to cross fell apart because someone built it wrong. We have to address this problem at the source. We need to make not just men, but all people feel safe enough to share how they feel. Everyone deserves someone to talk to. Everyone deserves a chance to talk about their feelings. Everyone deserves to be happy. Another thing to mention is when you suppress it or don't let yourself feel the emotions that you're feeling, it can turn into other things. It can make you angry to feel upset, which further makes you upset and more angry, which can lead to toxic masculinity, which reinforces all the other problems even more, to where it just becomes this cycle of unhappiness and anger. Now, I should say, this video is not meant to be a comprehensive look at how these problems exist and how to solve them. If I'm being perfectly honest, I have no idea how to solve this problem. It might not be one that is ever truly solved. I'm simply here to spread awareness of the fact that people, no matter who they are, need to be cared for. Another factor that isn't addressed as much as it should be is the role that the media and pop culture play for teenage guys. Male action heroes are often depicted as being stoic, always tough and cool, never scared, never depressed, usually sporting big muscles and chiseled abs. That just isn't how people are. We're so quick to point out these things for women, however, when it comes to men, it seems like less of a priority for people. This portrayal of men in the media is often referred to as toxic masculinity. and indeed, this type of masculinity is toxic. It often leads to mental struggles and could affect large parts of your life. Everything from significant relationships to career success, personal fulfillment, and even physical health. When men are conditioned to suppress their emotions, avoid vulnerability, and prioritize stoicism above all, it creates a cycle of internal conflict that can be damaging in ways that aren't immediately recognizable. The pressure to conform to these narrow ideals can lead to isolation, feelings of inadequacy, and ultimately a sense of disconnection from oneself and others. And as sad as it is, all the previously mentioned reasons are why we see statistics such as the one provided by the National Institute of Mental Health that states for every 100,000 teenage boys, there are approximately 10.5 who will take their own life. Mental health is not something to take lightly, and if there's one thing I want you to get from this video, it's that no matter who you are, your problems matter. You matter. You're not alone. Everyone struggles, and everyone has problems. No one's life is how it looks on the internet, and it doesn't matter what other people are doing. All you need to do is find what makes you happy and do that. And if you're struggling, know that there are resources out there to help you, and people out there who care about you. I made a flyer to go along with this video. Please screenshot it and share it to help end the stigma. Everyone's mental health is important. To everyone watching, be safe, stay strong, and thanks for taking the time to listen.